could be knocked off ballot, leaving Kenya Kwanza clutching on hope that IEBC allows replacement. Despite getting clearance, 4 cases have been filed to challenge Johnson Sakaja's nomination for governorship, and if any succeeds, he could be knocked off the ballot, leaving Kenya Kwanza clutching on hope that IEBC allows replacement. And we'll see, is that viable, allowing for replacement? That is well tucked away on page 8 of the Standard this morning. Expect only digital registers at polling stations, IEBC tells Raila. Now, in response to Azimio leader Raila Odinga's 10 demands, IEBC boss Wafula Chebukati says only electronic register will be used on election day. A deviation from the past where hard copies were mandatory. That story will laid out for you on page 6 of the Daily Nation. Their questions, let's just go through one by one what they're asking. These are the questions that have been expressed in that letter. Is electronic transmission of results tamper-proof? Will there be hard copies of voter register at polling stations? Has the integrity of the register been upheld? What is the outcome of audit of voters' register? What are the alternative transmission plans for areas without 3G, 4G? Will returning officers' names be shared with political parties? In the farm printing ballots, is the farm printing ballot papers competent? As the IEBC irregularly delegated some roles to some Smartmatic BV holdings. What has the Commission done to address technology capacity? What has the Commission done to address costs of 2017 as flagged up by the Supreme Court? And this is the question also the CJ was asking. All right, we have answers from Chebukati. One, he says, results will be electronically submitted from polling stations to, let me try and just to zoom out a bit, to national tallying centers and constituency tallying centers simultaneously via secure network. No more hard copies of registers in polling stations, only digital register will be available, and all voters will be identified electronically. Now, IEBC is taking corrective action on illegal transfers of voters, including implementing recommendation of KPMG audit. Cases of illegal transfers are not as many as claimed. Commission to receive final KPMG audit report on June the 16th and engage stakeholders on June the 17th. Commission will deploy satellite modems in 1,111 centers subject to availability of funds. Sharing of names of returning officers with political parties is no longer necessary since they are now permanent officers. Info Lycos, that is from South Africa, has the capacity to deliver without subcontracting information that is delayed. Nigerian election unfounded. Also, Commission only share technical specification to the bidder. BVR data has been migrated from previous company, that is IDEMIA, which moved into OT Morpho, and now Smartmatic is the one which has garnered this particular contract. Also, Kim's Kit info, that is from the register, to be locked out to specific polling stations via QR code specific to them. The Commission is auditing its technology. Also, Commission drafted legal reforms and submitted them to Parliament, embarked on institutional reforms for all its directors or for all its directorates, and increase its stakeholders' engagement. Well, those are questions and answers there from Raila's camp and Chebukati answering them. Expect only digital register at polling stations, IEBC tells Raila. What happens to the Green Book? So in case of a system failure, is there any backup? Well, they're well placed to answer that. You can grab a copy of the Standard today for that. Also looking at the sidebar, watch out, 12 million children have access to porn. Parents, you should be aware of this. We should just go back there to the paper. And it says, report by State Department for Social Protection shows most children access pornography through their parents' and friends' mobile phones, as well as school computers. The story is on page 13 of the Standard this morning. The Communications Authority is very strict on this as well, in terms of trying to fireproof this in our systems as well. Even in school, there should be no laxity. So if there are leakages on this and how they're accessing it, that should be questioned, especially the schools that have been flagged out on this. This should be answerable. to the parents. This is tucked on page 13 of the Standard this morning. Also, schools calls men for heart-to-heart talk with daughters. Teachers applying new strategy to get men involved in their teenage children's lives and get wayward girls to open up more as schools get swamped with teenage pregnancies and increased cases of drug abuse. It's a niggling worry there. You can follow the story on page 3 of the Standard this morning. Let's see what we have on top here. Day Ruto wanted to call it quits. New book reveals. This is a story there of William Ruto, narrated by Babior Newton. You can follow that particular story on page 8 of the Standard this morning. And CS Musharu denies role in ICT bill. This is on page 26 of the Standard this morning. Paul Barton grounds today is focusing on Keses. That is a Keses race where we have 67,136 registered voters, 148,793 voters